What's up, guys? No, this is not the same footage as a couple of videos ago. It's from the same day, but it is the second half of the day. So this is previously unseen. So I'm passing it through because I want to upload all the footage I have. Otherwise, it just sits there and takes up space in my fucking 10 terabytes of storage. So without further ado, on to today's subject matter. So this is something, well, I guess two things that have been kind of scraping at me for a while. And, like I mentioned in most of my videos, these are interactions that I have in real life and, you know, based on true events. And, they're, they're related to each other. They're related to a lot of stuff. So, first thing is your job and the importance of loving what you do. And the second thing I want to talk about is that good old authority bias. So, I talk to a lot of people that say they love their job, but it's clear that they don't. Because I'll ask them why they love their job, and they'll usually reply with, "What do you mean?" Or, isn't it obvious I get paid a lot of money? But again, like, what does that mean? That just means you get paid a lot of money. So then I ask another question. Okay, well, would you still do it if you didn't get paid a lot of money? And they say, what do you mean? Again, I'm blinded by love, I guess. So I say, would you do it if you didn't get paid a lot of money? And they say, what do you mean? And I say, well, would you do it for slightly less money? And they say, well, no, because it took me this long to, get my seniority, and I had to go through here, and I had to come in with an agency, and it's like, yeah, you still don't understand. And I don't want to get a pay cut because that's where I was 3 years ago, and I don't want to. And I said, okay, so even though you really love your job, like, you wouldn't do it for less money. So here's my next question. Although I probably know the answer already. Would you do your job for free? And then they look at me like I'm crazy. Why would anyone do anything for free? Why would anyone work for free? It's like, well, you just told me that you loved your job. That you loved your job. So, like, not only should you be willing to do it for free, I mean, if you love it that much, like, you should be willing to pay to do it. I love skateboarding, and I literally pay to skateboard. I buy my own fucking equipment, and I pay to go to the fucking skate park in the winter. And I put gas in my car to go do it. No one pays me to do it, but I love it. So that's what drives me. It's not because in the end, like, on paper, it adds up that I should skateboard. Now, that's not my job. Okay, fine. This is my job, what I'm doing now. And yes, I do love it. And yes, I would do it for free. And yes, I have done it for free. And yes, I do it for free. Often. I don't mean that the customers don't pay me, but I mean that I work on the weekend. And, I do a lot of maintenance and a lot of preparatory work for my business. And I make a lot of stuff. I fix a lot of stuff. Try to fix everything myself as much as I can. And this takes a lot of time. And I enjoy it. And I keep myself up at night sometimes thinking about how I'm going to modify my trailer or my climbing setup or, my working technique or my harness, anything. Anything to make the job more efficient, more enjoyable. Because this is fun. Even what I'm doing now. It sucks. The log is heavy. My dad's helping me. But it's fun. And, like, I love to do this. And, I've done a variety of jobs in my life. And I've tried to make the best out of every situation that I was ever in. And I've tried to treat every job as if it would be my last. Let's say I would stay here for the rest of my life. What would make this bearable? What would make this optimum? So I would always, gear up, and I would never skimp out on equipment. And not saying equipment buys skill, but let's say the company gives you like $100 allowance to buy work boots every year. Other people would try to buy boots that cost less than $100 and then pocket $30. And I would buy $200 boots and spend an extra $100 because I know I have to work and walk on my feet 10 hours a fucking day. And I'm not going to walk on a pair of fucking cheap ass boots that's going to give me fucking bruises and blisters just to save fucking $30. Like, it's fucking stupid, man. Instead, I'll spend the extra money, and then work will in turn be easier for me the entire time those boots fucking last, because I get the fucking Gore-Tex ones to let my feet breathe, and I get the padded ones, and I get the ones that are good for summer and winter and that you're made to walk on, not the work boots that are made for standing still. And they have boots that are made for standing still, by the way. Like, the welding boots that I still have, they're pretty much made for standing still. You can walk in them, but it's not good. They're slippery, and they get worn out really fast if you walk in them. So, that's the thing, do you really love your job? And there's a big difference between, being thrust into a job that's not your favorite thing to do. That's an understatement. Or you studied for it, but again, it's not fun. Like if you're in finance or accounting or something, like, okay, cool, like you wanted to do it, but like, do you really love it? Do you do it for free? Do you fucking dream of numbers when you go to bed? I guarantee you the answer is fucking no. And, if that's the case, you're lying to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself about that, which is basically what takes up most of your time by far, then you're probably lying to yourself about a lot of other stuff too. And if you're lying to yourself about what matters the most, then there's a good chance that everything you tell other people is a fucking lie. That's how I look at it. And, look, man, I get it all the time. There are ups and downs when you have your own business, especially in the beginning. People love to point the finger. People love to fucking see you fail. They fucking love that shit. They're hoping for it. And, they love to condescend. And they love to say how you're lucky that you can just, like be a free spirit. And I heard one day that I'm lucky I get to play all day. It's like, okay, well, you could play all day too. And I'm glad you think that that's what this is, and like your job should be considered play. And it should be fun for you. And if it's not, well, then you're a fucking idiot. That's all I can say. What's the only excuse? Like, oh, what, you have to do the job that you're doing now because you're too stupid to get another job? That's all you're saying. That's all you're fucking saying. Like, you think by trying to make yourself into a victim that, like, I'm going to feel sorry for you or something? Like, no way. Fuck you, man. Like, yo, go do something else. It's that fucking simple. And if you can't, it's just because you have no marketable skills. So a lot of these people that quote unquote love their job so much, they only love them based on the contingency that they get paid a fucking ridiculously inflated salary to do said jobs. And most of these jobs involve just showing up, sitting down, and going home. And that's it. Like, how could you? Okay, fine. If you love to do that, great. But, for instance, I was talking to someone who was about to go on sick leave. And, they were worried that they were going to go on sick leave for so long, but they loved their job so much that they didn't know what they were going to do for, like, the half year that they would be home. And I said, well, then you're a fucking idiot. Like, you have no imagination. Like, you can't exist outside your workplace. And they said, no, I love my job so much. And I said, okay, well, why don't you do your job from home? Like, for free. And then they just looked at me like that didn't make sense. Well, I couldn't do it because I can only do my job at my work where I'm set up to do it perfectly. An example of this, think of a chef. A chef that, like, let's say, for lack of a better word, a master chef that can cook all sorts of shit, and he works at like a 5-star expensive restaurant and everybody loves him and he makes good food and blah blah blah. And he says he loves to cook, but he can't cook at home. He can't cook at home because he needs like a crew of fucking 20 people to prepare food for him. And to cut everything up and to clean everything and to wash the dishes after. It's like, it's such bullshit, fuck. It's such bullshit. And then he doesn't fucking love what he does. He's just a fucking guy working, doing a job. And look, that's okay. But just don't fucking lie. And don't fucking lie to me, because when you lie to me, you insult my fucking intelligence. And I can see through that fucking shit, man. It's not hard to fucking spot if someone is fucking not happy doing what they do. And, I mean, just look at what me and Mark are doing. Like, yes, I've said it many times, we both love what we do. We're all in, man. This is it. And this is our way out. This is our way out of slavery. This is our way to freedom. This is our way to ascension. And it's this, or it's to die trying. And we're very, very, very happy accepting that fact. Live by the saw, die by the saw. You know? You're not going to die by the fucking pen. You know, and if it scares you, then it's not meant for you, or you're not meant for it. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's just like if you're, if you're a soldier or if you're a professional fighter or something like that. Like, chances are any injury you're gonna sustain is gonna be on the battlefield or in the ring. So any injury I'm gonna sustain is usually gonna be in a tree, or as a result from using a chainsaw. And I don't want to die doing this, obviously, but there's no better way to die than doing something you love. Like, what would I rather be doing? Doing something I hate? Driving in traffic? Doing my taxes? Waiting in line at the DMV? Like, fuck that, man. Once I was skipping rope. This is years ago. And I still do, by the way, in case you're wondering. But I was skipping rope in the rain. And it was like almost a thunderstorm. But it was awesome. It was summer. And it was so good, fuck. So refreshing. And I was skipping in front of my house. And, I happened to be under a power line. But, not right under. There was one, like 5 meters above my head. So my know-it-all neighbor comes out. And he says, be careful, you're going to get electrocuted. And then I thought I said I can't think of a better way to die. And it's true. Like, man, imagine. Of course I don't want to die, but like, at the same time, like this guy is just full of shit, man. He's just fucking jealous. He just wanted me to not skip rope. That's it. Like, that's the best revenge is living well, because people really don't want you to do well. And he says, well, you should pack it up and you should go inside and save the workout for a sunny day. Well, no, fuck that. I am who I am because I'll go out and I'll work out every day. Rain, snow, sleet, heat, cold, it doesn't fucking matter. That's what makes me who I am. And that's what makes you who you are. Because you throw in the fucking towel as soon as things are anything less than ideal. And yeah, when I die, it's gonna say fucking badass was electrocuted skipping rope in a fucking lightning storm. And like that's fucking fine with me, man. And the second thing I want to talk about is the authority bias, which usually goes hand in hand with people that say they love their jobs. And I want to make a more in-depth video about this, but I'm almost out of footage, or footage of this day, so I'm going to end it at that. So a lot of the time people say they love their jobs because they had to do what they consider work to get to that job. But, there's work and there's work. I don't mean like lifting logs every day, or doing anything scientific that hasn't been done before. By work, they paid money to sit at a desk for X amount of time. And then they paid more money to sit at another desk for X amount of time. And they kissed ass and they sucked dick. And they washed, they rinsed, they repeated. And, they worked really hard, to get the right certification to be able to do said job that they love so much more than life itself. They love the job even before they start. They love the job while they're in like their third form of like post-high school study. Like, not college, not university, maybe grad school or whatever fucking comes after that. I don't know, man. I'm a college dropout, and like the only thing I regret about that is not having dropped out of high school fucking 5 years before. And I'm not even fucking kidding. But it took me a really long time to unlearn, what what the educational system tried to brainwash into me. And look, man, they succeeded. It took me a while to snap out of it, but at least I did. And that kind of goes hand in hand with that good old authority bias. People tend to think that, any sort of certification makes you real or makes you good. I tend to think that only the work matters. Like the footage of the work matters, because subjectively everyone thinks they're good. How did I do cutting this log? Well, you tell me. The footage is right here. I can tell you I didn't do a great job because I hit the ground with the bar and, the chain was dull and I make a lot of mistakes. But someone else, it doesn't have any footage, but they have a certification You're going to ask them, what kind of job did you do? And they're going to say, oh, well, I did a great job. I'm certified. It's like, yeah, that's not how it works, motherfucker. The proof is in the fucking pudding. That's it. Show me the footage or demonstrate how good you are. If you have to fall back onto your credentials, like you've already lost the argument. Another example, if you're arguing with someone and you just fucking wipe the floor with them and they're going to say, well, you can't be right. And you say, why not? And they say, well, I went to college or I have a master's in this. It's like, yeah, and yet I still fucking beat you in a fucking debate to the point where you have to fall back on your credentials. Another example is, let's say you know someone that makes a lot of money at a high-paying job, again, like a chartered accountant or something like that, or a stockbroker, and, they have a reputation of being smart, of being Renaissance men, good at everything, but they're not good at anything. They can't do fuck all, and they need to fucking rely on quote-unquote lesser men, like me, to do something so simple as cut a tree down. Engineers, I get a lot of customers that are engineers and know-it-all engineers. If you are an engineer, then fuck you. I don't fucking respect you, fuck. Go in the field, fuck, learn how it's actually fucking done. Christ, man. Yeah, I fucking hate you guys. And no, not because you're smart, because you think you're smart. But you're really not. Because none of your intellect is applicable in real life, as your field testers often show you. So, other people that are frequently seen as right, teachers, and wrongly, I should say, teachers, bosses, any sort of boss, anyone that works for the government, police officers, public security, any sort of security. And again, bosses. What kind of boss? Oh, well, the more fucking titles in front of the boss, the better person they are, the better they are at their job, obviously. Footage or proof doesn't matter. Credentials matter. Where did I take my arborist course? Where did I sit at a desk for 10 hours after paying money to learn how to climb from people that have never climbed? I even met an arborist the other day as I was delivering some firewood, and he'd been in business for a really long time. So, he had a lot of nice vehicles in his driveway, and my trailer had broken down. The wheel fucking essentially fell off. And so I was driving my dad's truck delivering a cord of wood. Thanks, Dad, for lending me Big Red Bear, by the way. I really appreciate it. So this guy had a dumping trailer and he had a Ford F-350 and he had a whole bunch of other big shit. But, honestly, like, that doesn't impress me. Like, really, because, like, I don't know how he got it. Maybe it was a loan. Maybe he bootstrapped it, but maybe he didn't. And maybe just because he has nice gear doesn't necessarily mean he's good at what he does. So, and look, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I know I sound like I'm being cynical, but like, follow me on this. Because when he asked me how good I was, I said, well, I have a YouTube channel. So I said, check out my channel and you can see for yourself. And he says, no. He says, come work for me for a day. That's the only real way. No, you know what? Fuck you, man. You come work for me for a fucking day. And then we'll see who's fucking who. All right? So again, this guy has no footage. So he's trying to condescend. My footage is there. If you were good, if you were confident, you would have your own footage. Instead, when I asked him if he was good, he told me that he worked for the city for 28 years. I just stared at him. I said, yo, dude, like, that doesn't fucking impress me, and why would it? And his jaw just dropped. And he said, well, I just told you, I work for the city. That's the highest, like, authority possible. I said, yeah, that's what you think, motherfucker. Again, cash is king. And footage, or it didn't fucking happen. And who has the best footage? Well, that's up to the fucking viewer to fucking decide now, isn't it? Like, that's it. And, these are just some fucking musings on a Saturday morning. And, I'm not as articulate as I wanted to be. But that's just the fucking way it is. And I'm off today to put my new wheel on my trailer and to change the shekels once and for good. I got replacement ones, and I'm about to, pack up. It's almost 7 a.m., but it's still really dark here. So, yeah, I'll make another video later on for you guys. May not upload it today, but it'll be chronicling the modifications I'm going to do on my trailer, because that's what I'm doing today. We're supposed to get 1.5 feet of snow. Well, not 1.5 feet. We're supposed to get 1 foot of snow this afternoon. And the footage you see here is from about a week and a half ago when the snow melted. But now it's minus 20 degrees again. It's very cold. So we're supposed to get a foot and a half of snow or a foot of snow this afternoon. So I want to fix my trailer. I have new wheels to put on, and I have new shekels to fucking change. And time is of the essence. So I got to do that before the storm sets in. And looking forward to getting that shit done and showing you guys. So leave your thoughts in the comments downstairs. Take it easy. See you next time.